Flatshine Village, a cruise ship on skis, and not in a good way. If you know how cruises go, you may know they advertise they are great for all people, but in reality, the cruise ship experience is targeted to one specific group of people, and everyone else's experience is mid. Sunshine Village is exactly that. They say they are a family-friendly mountain, but in reality, it is only good for one type of skier. This is the Hater's Guide to Banff Sunshine Village. What's happening, everyone? I hope you all are having a happy Friday. This Friday is a happy Friday because even though skiing right now is mid in the US, Canada is feasting like hell right now. Ski Big 3 is an amazing place to ski. You get incredible views, a very nice town, and just an overall good vibe. After I went there last January, I found it very difficult to leave. If there wasn't so much bureaucratic red tape to moving to Canada, I would totally move to Canmore without hesitation. That would be a dream, living in a country where adults are in charge and having unlimited skiing at the most beautiful ski resorts in the world. With that being said, unfortunately there is one ski resort in Ski Big 3 that falls a little flat, and that would be Sunshine Village. 3 years ago, I took an Alaskan cruise. I even have content for some of the excursions on that cruise on this channel, if you want to check that out. Cruises are designed to be good for certain types of people, whilst everyone else has to do an excursion to make the best of their time. I unfortunately was one of those people where my experience on the cruise ship was mid, but I had a shitload of fun on the excursions. That was my Sunshine Village experience. Now don't get me wrong, there were definitely a few runs I did like there, but there were nothing to write home about. Hell's Kitchen was good, Southside Chutes were good, although a little sharky. That was similar to my cruise ship experience where there were a few activities I enjoyed and even met a few friends, but the activities were only good in the moment and nothing memorable. My most memorable moments on that cruise were the places I explored in Alaska. Hence, why the content I made on that is exclusively the places I went to, and I didn't post anything about the cruise itself. Sunshine Village was that same way to me. As you can tell, I didn't do a Hell's Kitchen video, or a Southside Chutes video, or a Garbage Chutes video. Garbage Chutes is definitely the appropriate name for that absolute fucking trash run. They are what it is in the name. Garbage. Fucking garbage. Anyway, I went off on a tangent, but what I meant to say is I didn't post a video on Hell's Kitchen or Southside Chutes or any of those runs because just like the cruise ship, they were enjoyable but nothing to write home about. Nothing I wanted to share in a video to celebrate or brag about. You may have seen footage of those runs in previous videos, or you may even be seeing footage of those runs right the fuck now. But they don't necessarily deserve individual videos. Like my cruise ship experience, I wasn't the target market of the cruise ship. The cruise ship did not have a lot of activities that were catered towards men in their mid-20s. Same thing with Sunshine Village, except for when it comes to skiing ability. Now, this is a hater's guide, so it would be ironic if there were no haters. But what I am about to say is going to piss off my haters so much. Because they're so not going to agree with this. But at the end of the day, they are haters, and their opinion couldn't matter less. And I don't give a flying fuck what they think. And I'm going to say this now. I am an expert skier. And as an expert skier, I am looking for expert terrain, and Sunshine Village doesn't have a whole lot of expert terrain. Except the freeride terrain. And we will get into that in a moment. But without the freeride terrain, Sunshine is not really a place for experts. Now, if you think of Sunshine Village like a cruise ship, the main mountain would be the cruise ship itself, whilst the freeride zones and side country zones would be the excursions. You literally have to leave the cruise ship in order to be able to do what you want. Those excursions are fantastic, but you pay a shitload of money to do them, and they are short-lived. The excursions are basically just a little taste of a town to say you have been there, and then it's time for you to leave. You don't really get enough time to actually get to appreciate the town and get a feel for the town and all that. It's basically you do your one excursion, you shop in the gift shops, and then all of a sudden you have to go back onto the cruise ship to go to the next place. It's like basically just a little high and by. I feel the same way about the freeride terrain at Sunshine Village. I never really had enough time to really get to experience it. I did my 2 laps on the dive, and those laps took so long, it was like already 2 o'clock by the time I was finished and didn't really have enough time to explore the Wild West or any of that. At Sunshine Village, you will have the most amazing time of your life skiing Delirium Dive, Wild West, and Side Door, but it isn't all gumdrops and rainbows. There are some hoops you have to go through.
Good.
First off, you have to wait for those zones to be open, which if it is a powder day, you know that ain't gonna happen, because they will be doing Avi mitigation all fucking day. So great. The days with the best snow, which would ideally be a great time to do it, Ski Patrol won't even let you do it. Unless you decide to poach the goddamn thing. And by the way, I didn't say that, because of legal reasons. Now you found a nice chalky non-powder day to do it, and it actually opens. Well, they don't just let anybody ski down it, unfortunately. You first need to have a beacon, probe, and shovel, as well as a partner to ski with. Now the avalanche gear thing isn't that big of a deal, given if you're a diehard enough you probably own it, and rental prices at the town of Banff are pretty reasonable if you don't own it. The downside is you have to haul all that Avi gear all around the mountain, even when you're not skiing the freeride terrain, because even if you do drive your car to the resort, it's far as fuck away. That's not practical to go and put it away when you're not using it. And now for the finding a partner part. If nobody you are skiing with is up for the challenge, or you went by yourself, well, unfortunately you will be waiting at the gate for God knows how fucking long. Then once you finally find someone, you have to pray to fucking God they are not some fucking tryhard and they're willing to fucking ski what you want to ski. Or they're not like way above your ability level that they're fucking hucking anglers or fucking Luxtons when you don't even have any interest in doing those.
Kind of cruddy.
Once you go through all those fucking hoops to get into the freeride zones, hopefully you did a good job studying the area because it is very easy to get cliffed the fuck out. It ain't like any other ski resort where everything is marked. No, this is full on backcountry. Once you find the line you want to do in any of the zones, great, but that will be short-lived and then a painful traverse out. If you want to lap the Delirium Dive, it takes 3 lifts to get back up because they couldn't make Super Angel go all the way to the top, so you have to take an extra lap down to the Great Divide. Wild West isn't any better either. You have to take a 30 fucking minute gondola ride from the base and make sure you have your pass in a handy pocket because they will need to see that because Sunshine Village is too fucking cheap to put in RFID gates like every other Icon and Mountain Collective resort. Speaking of accessibility, one thing that is pretty infuriating about the Wild West zone is whenever they close it, they just close the gate. They don't even bother to rope off the catwalk that takes you to the access gate. So if you have no idea the terrain is closed or unable to find a partner, then you have to traverse or boot pack all the way back up to Sunshine Coast because Ski Patrol simply couldn't take the second step of roping that area off. Now I don't have much to say about the intermediate terrain at Sunshine Village because all blue groomers are pretty much the same no matter what mountain you go to, and I thought the same logic applied to greens, but Sunshine Village totally proved me wrong. I have never seen a ski resort fuck up a green so fucking hard. I literally thought I was going the wrong way on this green, but nope, it was that fucking flat and even uphill. I literally had to take off my skis and boot pack the green. It was a marked green, and I had to boot pack it. Let that sink in for a sec. How the fuck do you expect beginners to do that? At that point, they are not even skiing. They are just hiking. At that point, just go to Banff in the fucking summertime. Oh my god, man. I literally had to fucking take my skis off and boot pack this because the traverse was that fucking annoying. And don't even get me started with the Sunshine Mountain Lodge. Yes, that is pretty unique. Sunshine Village has a town on the mountain, and I didn't even notice it when I was there. However, the logistics of it don't make a whole lot of sense. You are spending a premium to be trapped at a ski resort, meaning once the gondola closes, you're pretty much stuck up there, and there is no way to get down. Also, the food options up there are pretty mid as well. I also wonder how annoying it has to be to transport all your luggage in that tiny ass gondola cabin. I kind of wonder if there are any people who had the opposite problem, where they stay at the lodge in the Sunshine Village, and then they go down to visit the town of Banff, and then don't make it back to the gondola in time to get back to their hotel room, and then they end up being stranded. Or I also wonder if a situation has came up where people run out of days on their Icon or Mountain Collective Pass, and were able to get on the gondola back up to retrieve their belongings from their hotel room. Now, all those things that I would have to worry about would definitely make me stay far away from renting a room at that fucking lodge. Anyway, Sunshine Village is a cruise ship of skiing. It is really just about the experience and not really a great mountain to ski on the regular. Unless you're an intermediate skier or you really want to check out the freeride terrain, Sunshine Village is a hard avoid. People say this place is the king of Banff, but I would beg to fucking differ. That crown goes to Lake Louise. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please leave your feedback down below, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.